Could Yellowstone 1923 Season 2 be heading for its most dramatic shakeup yet? The news is out. Brandon Sklenar, the beloved actor who brought one of the show's most unforgettable characters to life, is officially exiting. This unexpected development has sent shockwaves through the fandom, leaving viewers questioning what this means for the show's future. How will Yellowstone 1923 move forward without him? Let's dive into the story behind his departure and the potential ripple effects it could have on the Dutton saga. Yellowstone 1923 is not just a series, it's a meticulously crafted masterpiece that brings the struggles and triumphs of the Dutton family to life. At its heart was Brandon Sklenar, whose performance as Spencer Dutton captured the essence of resilience and emotional depth. From the very first scene, Spencer stood out as a character whose journey defined the series. His harrowing post-war struggles and his steadfast devotion to Alexandra created an emotional thread that resonated with fans across the globe. Brandon Sklenar's portrayal became extra than appearing. It became a metamorphosis. He introduced vulnerability and grit to a person navigating the scars of warfare, the complexities of affection, and the ever-gift threat to the Dutton legacy. Fans have been interested in his layered performance, which showed now not most effective Spencer's bodily energy, however, also his emotional turmoil, a delicate stability that accelerated the series' storytelling. This makes his go out all of the greater shocking. Yellowstone 1923 has constantly been about survival, no longer just inside the physical sense, but additionally emotionally. Spencer embodied that battle. He became the individual who related the past and destiny of the Dutton-owned family, serving as a bridge among their enduring legacy and the tough realities of frontier existence. Losing any such pivotal person raises vital questions. Who will take in his mantle? Can the collection hold its emotional center without Spencer? For fanatics, Brandon Sklenar wasn't just every other actor within the Yellowstone universe. He turned into a linchpin. His departure leaves a sizable void, not simply inside the cast, but inside the storyline itself. The intricacy of Spencer's arc intended that his character turned into critical to key plotlines, from his harrowing adventure across oceans to reunite along with his circle of relatives to his fiery romance with Alexandra. How can the series navigate any such profound shift in its narrative? The affirmation of Brandon's exit additionally increases concerns about the Dutton circle of relatives dynamics in Season 2. Spencer's relationship along with his family become complex, full of unstated tensions and unresolved conflicts. His absence method that the one's emotional threads may additionally now go untied, leaving viewers to wonder how the display will cope with his storyline, or if it's going to at all. Could Spencer's journey give up off display, or will his departure be written into the display in a way that gives closure to fans? As we prepare for 1923 Season 2, one issue is apparent. Brandon Sklenar's go out is extra than a casting alternate. It's a shift that challenges the very basis of Yellowstone. 1923. How the series chooses to deal with his absence will form its trajectory transferring forward. In the sector of Yellowstone, where each choice comes with effects, this departure is not any exception. The stakes are higher than ever, and lovers are on the brink of their seats, waiting to peer how this twist will unfold. Brandon Sklenar's departure from Yellowstone 1923 has left fans in a nation of disbelief. The news, which has quickly spread across social media, has raised greater questions than answers. What caused this sudden exit? Was it a non-public selection or the end result of at-the-back-of-the-scenes drama? And, most significantly, how will the display move forward without certainly one of its maximum cherished stars? While respectable info surrounding Brandon's go-out stays scarce, the rumors are swirling. Some speculate that his departure became pushed via scheduling conflicts, with the actor being not able to commit to the demanding production agenda of Season 2. Others have counseled that it may be due to creative variations, with Sklenar's vision for Spencer Dutton now not aligning with the course the show's writers and manufacturers wanted to take. But in a world as unpredictable as Yellowstone, the real motives will be far extra complicated. There's also the opportunity that Brandon Sklenar's exit might be tied to new opportunities in his career. As his profile has grown, along with his standout overall performance on Yellowstone 1923, it's not surprising that Sklenar will be looking closer to different initiatives that provide him new demanding situations. Hollywood is a fast-paced industry, And for lots actors, leaving a role in the back of may be a strategic flow to pursue bigger or different roles. Whether it's a film opportunity, any other TV series, or even a completely one-of-a-kind path in his career, Sklenar's departure could mark the beginning of a new chapter for him. What's particularly placing about this news is that Brandon Sklenar's person, Spencer Dutton, was predicted to be at the vanguard of the emotional and narrative arcs in Season 2. Spencer's return to the Dutton Ranch was a fairly expected storyline, and fanatics had been eagerly waiting to look how his published struggle trauma would collide with the growing tensions within the Dutton family. His courting with Alexandra turned into every other most important thread that fans have been hoping to look evolve. Would Spencer ultimately relax and include his place within the family, or could the call of journey take him away once more? The choice to put off this sort of valuable character midway through the collection is not one that's taken gently. In a display as emotionally charged and plot-driven as Yellowstone 1923, the departure of a key solid member will be a game-changer. It's no longer just about losing an actor, it's about the effect on the storytelling itself. Spencer's arc, his relationships, and his personal increase were woven into the fabric of the show, making his go out a seismic shift that fanatics will be watching intently. But possibly the maximum unsettling component of Brandon Sklenar's departure is the uncertainty it creates. Yellowstone 1923 has always thrived on its deep, complex characters and the emotional stakes that come with their journeys. With Spencer now absent, the show faces the daunting undertaking of filling the void left via his departure. Can the writers effectively pivot and craft a compelling narrative without him? Or will the absence of this kind of important discern depart a substantial hole that no different character can definitely fill? For many enthusiasts, it feels just like the Dutton-owned family saga might be dropping one in every of its most promising figures. Spencer Dutton had the ability to become a cornerstone of the series, someone who should bring each tragedy and desire to the Dutton legacy. His departure leaves a heavy experience of loss, now not just for his man or woman, but for the whole narrative. As we circulate into Season 2, we are left with more questions than solutions, and the tension is palpable. How will Yellowstone 1923 survive without Spencer Dutton? Only time will tell. However, the street in advance is certain to be unpredictable. Brandon Sklenar's go out from Yellowstone 1923 doesn't simply have an effect on one individual, it may have a ways-attaining outcomes for the whole Dutton circle of relatives saga. Spencer Dutton became not merely a character, he was a vital part of the emotional panorama of the show. His complex relationships, specifically together with his own family and Alexandra, played a main function inside the path of the series. Now, with his departure showed, the writers will face the huge mission of reworking the display's emotional core without certainly one of its maximum pivotal characters. The on-the-spot effect of Sklenar's departure is the huge void left inside the display's critical narrative. Spencer's journey became one of personal transformation, formed by way of the harrowing reviews of warfare and the challenges of reconnecting along with his roots. His absence could depart a hollow in the plot that no other character can completely fill, mainly given the emotional and mental intensity he delivered to his role. The display will ought to find a manner to preserve the emotional stakes excessive without Spencer's presence to floor the target market's connection to the Dutton circle of relatives' conflict. The dating between Spencer and Alexandra turned into one of the maximum charming components of Yellowstone. 1923. Their love story, built on a basis of shared adversity and emotional growth, turned into a key driver in Season 1. Fans have been eager to see where their relationship would cross in Season 2, particularly after the activities that transpired within the first season. Spencer's choice to go back to the Dutton Ranch promised to convey extensive emotional weight to the show. With Sklenar long gone, it's doubtful how this dynamic will evolve. Will Alexandra's storyline maintain, or will she be left in limbo without Spencer to power their arc forward? The absence of Spencer could also affect the larger issues of loyalty, survival, and family, which are at the coronary heart of Yellowstone 1923. Much of the drama in the collection revolves around the Dutton family's struggles to shield their land, preserve their legacy, and help one another via hard instances. Spencer, as a member of the following generation of Duttons, represented the destiny of the circle of relatives and the ongoing fight for survival. Without him, the display may need to shift its recognition back to the older Duttons, like Jacob and Kara, who've been crucial to the tale, however, whose arcs had been perhaps now not as deeply explored in Season 1. The dynamic among the older and more youthful Duttons might also tackle new significance, but it's uncertain whether this shift will capture the equal emotional resonance as Spencer's storyline did. Moreover, the writers can be forced to introduce new characters or storylines to fill the void left via Spencer. While this could offer possibilities for fresh narratives, it's also a volatile move. Audiences have already invested within the hooked-up characters, and introducing new figures could distract from the already complex web of relationships that make Yellowstone 1923 so fascinating. If the new characters aren't compelling enough, it could weaken the show's emotional effect, leaving lovers yearning for the person they've misplaced. Another giant challenge the show faces is the ability impact at the show's pacing. Spencer Dutton turned into a part of the primary narrative structure that intertwined with other characters and their arcs. Without him, the pacing of the story should experience choppy because the show will need to alter to an international without his presence. This shift may create moments of anxiety and suspense, but it may additionally lead to a slower, much less centered narrative, which could lose the depth lovers have come to anticipate. What Yellowstone 1923 will need is a sensitive balance, maintaining the elements that made the display so attractive while finding a way to keep it clean and interesting. Spencer's exit is a pivotal second, however, it must suggest the end of the show's success. The question now is, how will the writers rise to this assignment? Can they maintain to craft a story that grips visitors without one among its key gamers? As Season 2 unfolds, the answer might also become clearer. However, one element is certain. The show will in no way be the equal without Spencer Dutton. With Brandon Sklenar's shocking go out from Yellowstone 1923, one of the maximum urgent questions now's how the show will address the absence of Spencer Dutton. His departure increases the stakes for the complete series, especially due to the fact his storyline became so imperative to the direction of Season 2. Spencer's journey become now not just about surviving the horrors of conflict, but additionally approximately reconciling along with his circle of relatives is beyond, grappling together with his trauma, and figuring out his future. As such, his absence ought to depart a profound effect on the way the narrative unfolds. One possible course the writers would possibly take is to shift the focal point greater closely to the opposite Duttons, especially Jacob and Kara. These characters, portrayed by way of Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, have continually been critical to the display, but their arcs were particularly overshadowed by using the younger generation, which includes Spencer in Season 1. Without Spencer, there can be more room for Jacob to tackle a larger management position as the patriarch of the Dutton circle of relatives. His energy, know-how, and enjoy could guide the Own family via even more complex challenges because the series progresses. Kara, too, could turn out to be more of a focal point in the tale, as her private resilience and capability to navigate circle of relatives dynamics would virtually upload layers to the continuing struggles the Duttons face. The older Duttons may additionally discover themselves in an extra prominent position. However, whether or not this shift can seize the identical emotional intensity that Spencer's character introduced to the table remains to be visible. Another opportunity is that the writers may want to lean into the idea of Spencer's absence being a part of the storyline itself. Rather than just having him fade into the history, the show ought to cope with his disappearance head-on, the usage of it to force new tensions within the family. Perhaps the absence of Spencer's strength and resolution leaves an opening that others have to fill, pushing the ultimate Duttons to upward push to the event in approaches they hadn't predicted. This should set the degree for brand new conflicts, both internal and external, as the Own family struggles to maintain control of the land, and their legacy turns into even extra fragile without Spencer's presence. The void left with the aid of Spencer can also bring about a deeper exploration of trauma, mainly for characters who've already treated the emotional scars of war. Spencer's tale become one in all recuperation and redemption, an adventure that mirrored the struggles of many squatties getting back from war. Without him, there could be a heavier awareness on how the Duttons, specifically the younger ones, cope with their private demons. Spencer's trauma, especially his post-struggle studies, became certain to create excessive emotional moments, and now the writers may have to turn to different characters to address the one's themes. Characters like Jack and Elizabeth should see their arcs evolve as they deal with the psychological toll of residing via such turbulent times. There is also the query of Spencer's romantic relationship with Alexandra. Their love story had the capacity to turn out to be one of the series' maximum compelling subplots, with Alexandra acting as a grounding force for Spencer as he navigated his emotional struggles. With Spencer gone, what takes place to Alexandra? Will she continue to be a part of the Dutton tale, or will her arc be dropped entirely? If she stays, it's viable that her character should grow to be greater valuable to the circle of relatives' ongoing narrative, particularly as she grapples with the lack of her love and adjusts to lifestyles without Spencer. Her resilience may be tested in new ways as she navigates the complexities of circle of relatives' loyalty and private grief. As the collection actions forward, the absence of Spencer Dutton may also open the door for new characters to emerge. While it's volatile to introduce new faces while a key individual leaves, it's viable that the writers ought to bring in sparkling figures to assist fill the gaps. Whether those characters are tied to the Duttons' past or constitute a new generation completely, they will need to have strong personalities and compelling backstories to seize the audience's attention. The project could be balancing those new characters with the present ones, making sure that the display doesn't lose its consciousness at the Dutton family's legacy, even as introducing new dynamics to keep matters sparkling. Ultimately, Yellowstone 1923 should make some ambitious selections inside the wake of Brandon Sklenar's departure. The loss of Spencer Dutton should both toughen the show or cause a war to keep its emotional depth. The manner the writers pick to navigate this alteration can be crucial in figuring out whether the collection can maintain to captivate audiences with the identical depth as earlier then. With Spencer long gone, the destiny of Yellowstone, 1923 feels greater uncertain than ever. However, that uncertainty is what makes the street beforehand so thrilling. What course will the show take, and how will it evolve without one in every of its most compelling characters? The solutions to those questions could redefine the series in approaches we by no means saw coming. The departure of Brandon Sklenar is undoubtedly a sport changer for Yellowstone, 1923. But the huge question knows whether or not the show can maintain its momentum without one of its key characters. Spencer Dutton's presence changed into no longer simply vital for his very own storyline, but additionally for the dynamic of the complete display. His complicated character, deeply stricken by his wartime studies, performed an essential role in shaping the emotional weight of the collection. With his absence, the display faces the assignment of locating a way to carry on its emotional and narrative intensity without one of the pillars that propped it up. While it's smooth to attention on what the show is losing, it's essential to consider that Yellowstone 1923 is part of a larger universe, one where the Dutton circle of relatives' legacy spans generations. The circle of relatives' struggles are inherently rooted in history, and this historic context lets in the writers to discover a wide range of topics and characters. Although Spencer's absence is significant, the display has plenty of room to delve deeper into the lives of other characters, in particular the older era of Duttons. Jacob and Kara, portrayed by Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, have already tested that they have got the depth and complexity to lead the story. With extra cognizance on these two characters, the series ought to explore new dynamics and demanding situations, shifting the emphasis from the more youthful Duttons to the older, extra-seasoned family individuals. The Dutton legacy, in any case, is about survival and resilience. While Spencer introduced a feel of emotional weight and personal battle to the desk, it's viable that the writers may want to fill the gap via giving the older Duttons a chance to polish. Jacob's leadership should grow to be even more vital as the own family faces new threats, and Kara's energy could tackle a brand new measurement as she confronts the challenges that include being a matriarch in a time of amazing exchange. Their stories, built across the issues of loyalty, sacrifice, and the unyielding choice to hold their land and legacy, could resonate simply as deeply with audiences. Another potential advantage of Spencer's Go Out is that it can open up more room for brand spanking new characters to emerge. While it's continually a danger to introduce new faces right into a nicely mounted show, the creation of clean blood should invigorate the storyline. New characters ought to offer exclusive views at the Dutton circle of relatives and its struggles, including layers to the narrative that might keep the audience engaged. These characters don't must update Spencer's emotional weight. As an alternative, they might help amplify the arena of Yellowstone, 1923, bringing in clean conflicts, alliances, and rivalries. It's no longer just about filling the void left by using Spencer's departure. It's about constructing on the muse he helped create. The show's creators have continually prided themselves on crafting rich, layered tales that revolve around own family, loyalty, and survival. Even without Spencer, the display nonetheless has lots of fabric to work with. The ongoing economic struggles, the impact of the Great Depression, and the evolution of the American West all offer fertile floor for storytelling. The Duttons' battle for land and energy will stay the driving pressure at the back of the show, and there's no motive to believe that the one's topics gained it resonate simply as strongly in Season 2. In fact, this shift should even breathe new lifestyles into the collection, forcing it to conform and evolve in approaches that hold it clean and unpredictable. The absence of Spencer Dutton way that the storylines may want to take new and surprising instructions, introducing fresh conflicts and demanding situations for the last characters. This should result in a greater dynamic, unpredictable show, one which keeps the audience on the edge of their seats as they surprise what will appear next. As viewers, we've come to assume stunning twists and turns from Yellowstone, 1923, and Sklenar's exit is no exclusive. The writers have usually been professional at pushing barriers and growing tension, and this moment is no exception. The question of whether the show will keep to thrive without Spencer is a crucial one. However, the display's power has always been its potential to conform. By shifting focus to the last characters and doubtlessly introducing new ones, Yellowstone, 1923, has the opportunity to reinvigorate the franchise while retaining the center themes that made it so captivating in the first place. The display has proven over and over that it could manage person departures with grace and creativity, regularly the usage of these moments to deepen the storytelling and add new dimensions to the narrative. Spencer's exit may also look like a big loss. However, it's also an opportunity for Yellowstone, 1923, to demonstrate its resilience and creativity. The adventure ahead can be uncertain. However, that's part of what makes it so exciting. If the writers can manipulate to craft compelling arcs for the closing characters and maintain the focal point on the circle of relatives' conflict for survival, there's no purpose to believe that the series received it retained to captivate audiences within the same manner it has so far. With all of this in thoughts, the future of Yellowstone, 1923, may look a touch exceptional without Spencer Dutton. However, it's far by no means doomed. The display's basis is robust, and its coronary heart lies in the Dutton circle of relatives' quest to guard their land, their legacy, and their loved ones. The avenue beforehand is probably bumpy. However, with the right innovative selections, the collection can keep to thrive and evolve, keeping fanatics invested in the Dutton-owned family saga. The departure of Brandon Sklenar is absolutely a recreation changer for Yellowstone, 1923. But the huge question now could be whether the display can preserve its momentum without one in every of its key characters. Spencer Dutton's presence changed into now not just critical for his personal storyline, however, additionally for the dynamic of the complete display. His complex character, deeply laid low with his wartime experiences, performed an essential function in shaping the emotional weight of the series. With his absence, the show faces the project of finding a manner to carry on its emotional and narrative depth without one of the pillars that propped it up. While it's easy to focus on what the display is losing, it's important to don't forget that Yellowstone, 1923, is a part of a larger universe, one where the Dutton circle of relatives' legacy spans generations. The family's struggles are inherently rooted in history, and this ancient context permits the writers to explore a huge variety of subject matters and characters. Although Spencer's absence is considerable, the show has masses of room to delve deeper into the lives of different characters, especially the older technology of Duttons. Jacob and Kara, portrayed by way of Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, have already verified that they've the depth and complexity to steer the tale. With greater consciousness on these two characters, the collection ought to discover new dynamics and demanding situations, moving the emphasis from the younger Duttons to the older, extra-season circle of relatives members. The Dutton legacy, in spite of everything, is about survival and resilience. While Spencer added a experience of emotional weight and personal war to the desk, it's possible that the writers may want to fill the space via giving the older Duttons a hazard to polish. Jacob's leadership could become even greater importance as the family faces new threats, and Kara's energy could take on a new dimension as she confronts the challenges that include being a matriarch in a time of incredible alternate. Their tales, built across the subject matters of loyalty, sacrifice, and the unyielding choice to preserve their land and legacy, should resonate simply as deeply with audiences. Another ability benefit of Spencer's Go Out is that it could open up greater room for brand new characters to emerge. While it's constantly a chance to introduce new faces into a properly established display, the advent of sparkling blood should invigorate the storyline. New characters could provide unique views on the Dutton family and its struggles, adding layers to the narrative that could keep the target audience engaged. These characters don't ought to update Spencer's emotional weight. Alternatively, they may help expand the world of Yellowstone 1923, bringing in sparkling conflicts, alliances, and rivalries. Of Root, it's no longer just about filling the void left through Spencer's departure. It's approximately building on the inspiration he helped create. The show's creators have always prided themselves on crafting wealthy, layered tales that revolve around own family, loyalty, and survival. Even without Spencer, the show still has masses of fabric to work with. The ongoing monetary struggles, the effect of the Great Depression, and the evolution of the American West all offer fertile ground for storytelling. The Duttons' warfare for land and energy will continue to be the using pressure behind the show, and there's no motive to trust that those issues received it resonate simply as strongly in 1923 Season 2. In fact, this shift could even breathe new life into the collection, forcing it to adapt and evolve in methods that hold it clean and unpredictable. The absence of Spencer Dutton way that the storylines should take new and surprising guidelines, introducing sparkling conflicts and demanding situations for the last characters. This may want to result in an extra dynamic, unpredictable show, one which maintains the target market on the threshold of their seats as they marvel what will manifest subsequent. As viewers, we've come to count on shocking twists and turns from Yellowstone 1923, and Sklenar's exit isn't any distinctive. The writers have always been professional at pushing boundaries and developing tension, and this moment is no exception. The query of whether or not the display will hold to thrive without Spencer is a vital one, but the show's power has usually been its capability to conform. By transferring consciousness to the final characters and potentially introducing new ones, Yellowstone 1923 has the possibility to reinvigorate the franchise while preserving the middle issues that made it so fascinating within the first region. The show has proven time and again that it could manage individual departures with grace and creativity, regularly using these moments to deepen the storytelling and add new dimensions to the narrative. Spencer's Go Out may additionally look like a huge loss, but it's also an opportunity for Yellowstone 1923 to illustrate its resilience and creativity. The adventure forward may be uncertain, however, that's a part of what makes it so interesting. If the writers can control to craft compelling arcs for the final characters and hold the focus at the own family's battle for survival, there's no purpose to believe that the series gained hold to captivate audiences in the identical manner it has to date. With all of this in mind, the destiny of Yellowstone 1923 may additionally look a touch exclusive without Spencer Dutton, but its miles never doomed. The display's basis is robust, and its heart lies inside the Dutton-owned family's quest to shield their land, their legacy, and their loved ones. Share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe our channel for more Yellowstone updates. Thanks!